Totally PLC operates in the UK healthcare sector, offering a range of healthcare services to supplement and complement the National Health Service. The company has a buy and build strategy in place at the moment. Bob Holt is chairman, and he joins us now with some more on this and the company itself. I want to start off, if I can, with your business model and how you make money for investors.
Sure. Well, the idea is that what we do is take any out-of-hospital services away from the NHS at the bottom end of their service provision. So providing a range of dermatology, physiotherapy. We recently made a major acquisition, which of course we could talk about, which provides out-of-hospital services like the 111 answering service, where we handle about 15% of the nation's calls. Also attached to that out-of-hospital GP services, so allocating out-of-hours GPs, and also then running urgent care centres. So if you go into an A&E service in most hospitals, you would think you would be totally looked at by an NHS service. You wouldn't be. You'd initially be triaged by an outsourced service, and then if you were a minor had a minor ailment, you would probably then be dealt with by a GP, and it would be outsourced, or by even a nurse, and you wouldn't know any difference.
So how you expand is presumably you go to the NHS and you pitch for work that they're trying to outsource.
Exactly that. And the idea is for the NHS to ensure that what they're doing is what they're good at, doing major surgery and taking away the need to tie up a junior consultant or a senior consultant on minor. You know, if you today have a bad splinter and you can't get an appointment with your GP, you'd be probably quite happy to go and sit in A&E. If you went into an A&E which had an urgent care centre that's outsourced, you'll be in and out in an hour and a half. And of course you won't be a burden then to the NHS.
I said at the top that you have this buy and build strategy.
Yeah.
You referred to your acquisition last year. You were talking about Vocare, were you?
Yes, indeed.
Because that was the big turning point, I think, last year at least, wasn't it?
Oh, very transformational for us. In March of 17, we raised 17 million. And we spent about 10 million, but 6.5 million cash up front in buying that and bringing it into the group. And it's totally transformational for us, because what it's done is not only take us into a wider range of services, but also a significant platform for future growth. It's taken the business from 10 million revenues to 100 million revenues, that sort of transformation.
And this is an ongoing business, and you've got that in the bag and it's going to continue, or do you have to repitch?
Oh, no. Well, we will repitch, because, I mean, in any outsourcing environment, every contract, it comes up eventually. So yes, we will be repitching. We've just won our first major contract. We've only owned the business for weeks, less than a quarter. So we're delighted with the progress we've made.
So if I phone 111, the chances are it's a Vocare person?
You may well get a Vocare person. We run about 15% of the nation's 111 answering services.
Yeah. What else are you doing? Because there's a whole long list of the sort of things you're doing. I mean, outsourcing covers a lot of areas.
Indeed.
For example, we're hearing a lot at the moment about the stresses and the strains the NHS is under. Do you fill in seasonally? Would they come to you and say, look, can you take this off our hands immediately for the next few months? Or is it a more programmed contract that you receive?
It's both. I mean, in the ideal world, we'd like a secure, fixed contract for 3 to 5 years, and we do have those. In addition, of course, we're there to support the NHS. The NHS gets lambasted on many fronts. It's a great organisation, and all we're trying to do is allow the people who need that acute care to get that acute care, and to take out of the NHS the day-to-day, I shouldn't say trivial tasks, but those minor tasks that actually take away the burden and leaving the NHS to do what it's good at.
Yeah, you've got 11.1 million, I believe, on the balance sheet.
Yeah, we've still got cash.
In cash. What are you going to do with that? What's the plan for this year?
Well, our shareholders have been very supportive. I took control effectively of this group about 18 months ago, and they've been incredibly supportive. We've made Vocare was our 4th acquisition, and they're keen for us to grow a significant platform. This is a huge market. The NHS currently outsources in excess of 20 billion of services. Clearly, we'd like to take quite a bit of that. At the moment, we've got 100 billion of it. So it's a massive market opportunity for us. Are
you a big cash generator as a company, or do you have to borrow to bring that money into the balance sheet in an effort to set yourself up to...
We've no borrowings whatsoever. So, we are totally ungeared. We've got no debt since I came into the business. And we've got, I would say we're long on cash in the business at the moment.
Yeah. Taking a look as to where the company is going, have you got, what's in the pipeline for this year? Have you got some deals set up that you can talk about?
Well, I can't talk about them, but of course we're always looking. As I said, because of the size of the outsourcing opportunity, there are a number of things we're looking at. We would like to actually supplement the acquisition of Vocare with another provider of similar services. You know, we've been talking to a number of people, and because we're fairly new kids on the block, you know, people will listen to us and want to see what, and may want to come on the journey with us.
Yeah. In terms of the coverage, we've spoken about the NHS and your coverage in this area of healthcare. Are you going to go outside that at all, to go into other business services, or are you going to stay within the healthcare? Oh,
we'll very much stick to our knitting and stay where we are. We may well get into some form of occupational health, you know, working alongside employers, and we've looked at that as well. But fundamentally, this is to take the strain off the NHS. That's the major task.
Do you have much exposure to the end-of-life care? And I'm thinking mainly accommodation as much as anything else. Are you entering into that space at all?
No, we're not.
That's something you'd rather not touch?
The whole issue one of the major issues for the NHS is all around elderly care. And clearly what we're trying to do is make sure that we can help along the way to make sure those hospital beds are available for those people who need them.
Okay. Just talk a little bit more about the investors. You spoke about them very briefly. Obviously very important to any company that's listed. What's the payback for them? What are you doing in terms of reward for shareholders?
People who followed my career previously, you know, I built a very successful group in Mears Group, 22 years on the market, been hugely successful. So people follow people, don't they? And, you know, I see this being a major opportunity in terms of NHS outsourcing. So the institutions who've come on board, and they're all very large institutions, have all come on board, given us great support to date, and hopefully will support us on to the next stage growth and thereafter. Our aspirations are quite significant. So, you know, I'm looking to double again our market cap in the next 2 to 3 years. Well,
okay, well, that sounds fairly positive in terms of the sheer program of progress. What is 2018 going to be known for, do you think? I mean, Vocare was a big deal, obviously, last year. Do you see anything coming up that you think 2018 is going to be the year of this for Totally PLC?
Oh, I think shareholders will probably support me on another transaction in 18, but will look for me to actually ensure that those things that I've bought are performing. Common sense, obviously. This is not just a buy and build strategy that's got no strategy in terms of putting building blocks in place. So Vocare has to work. They'll support me. I feel fairly confident on another one, and then it's actually a period of stability and actually ensuring that what we've got we can make money on.
Good. Look, it's a pleasure to talk to you, and thanks indeed.
My pleasure.
For joining us. Bob Holt is chairman of Totally PLC, a company that helps the NHS along in the outsourcing business and takes some of the pressure off strained services supplied by government. Subscribe to IG for educational content, company insight, financial analysis and expert commentary.